Ninja Gaiden 4 just dropped, and it's brutal. Not just the combat, but the demand on your PC. Today, we're pushing the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D and RTX 3090 to the absolute limit at 1080p and 1440p, with every setting from very low to high, plus TAA, DLAA, FSR, and DLSS. And yes, the engine is hard-capped at 240 FPS, so we're chasing that buttery smoothness. Everything's running stock, captured with CapFrameX and Riva Tuner for the cleanest overlay. Oh, and over 96% of you watching aren't subscribed. Let's flip that. Sub goal 1000. Hit like, comment what you want benchmark next, and smash that sub button. We're diving in. With the RTX 3090 and Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, Ninja Gaiden 4 flexes its muscles at 1080p, delivering buttery smooth performance without breaking a sweat. No anti-aliasing or upscalers, just pure unfiltered GPU power. Here's how it performs across high, medium, and very low settings. 1080p high settings. At high settings, the RTX 3090 cruises at 130 FPS, offering stunning visuals with zero compromise. Every slash, particle effect, and environmental detail is rendered in full glory, from reflective blood splatters to intricate level textures. This is ideal for players who want cinematic quality while maintaining smooth gameplay. The 9800X 3D ensures no CPU bottlenecks, so the 3090 can stretch its legs without holding back. Perfect for 144Hz monitors or single-player purists who want the full Ninja Gaiden experience. 1080p medium settings. Dropping to medium settings, the frame rate jumps to 160 FPS, the sweet spot for competitive and fluid gameplay. The visuals remain impressive, but the lighter load ensures even smoother responsiveness, critical for precision combat and fast-paced action. This is the go-to preset for high refresh rate monitors 240Hz or players who want a balance of beauty and speed. The RTX 3090 is barely breaking a sweat, and the 9800X 3D keeps everything in perfect sync. 1080p very low settings. At very low settings, the RTX 3090 hits 180 FPS, nearly maxing out the 240Hz cap. The game feels like liquid silk, with instantaneous responsiveness and zero input lag, perfect for speedrunners, competitive players, or anyone chasing the ultimate fluidity. The visual trade-offs are noticeable simplified textures, reduced effects, but the raw performance is unmatched. If you're all about frame rate, this is where the 3090 9800X 3D combo truly shines. This game's engine is optimized like crazy. Platinum Games and Team Ninja went all in for speed, and it shows. But is this enough for competitive play? Let's see what happens when we crank it up. At 1440p, the RTX 3090 and Ryzen 7 9800X 3D combo shines, delivering crisp visuals and strong performance. With no anti-aliasing or upscalers, this is raw, unfiltered power at a resolution that pushes the GPU just enough to show its true capabilities. Here's how it handles Ninja Gaiden 4, 1440p high settings. At high settings, the RTX 3090 delivers 80 FPS, playable, but not ideal for Ninja Gaiden 4's fast-paced, precision-heavy combat. The visuals are stunning, with detailed textures, dynamic lighting, and fluid animations, but the frame rate dips below the 120Hz plus sweet spot for ultra-responsive gameplay. This preset is best for players who prioritize visuals over raw speed. Great for single-player or casual play, but competitive players might want higher frame rates. 1440p medium settings. Dropping to medium settings, the frame rate jumps to 110 FPS, much smoother and far more responsive. The visuals remain strong, with only minor sacrifices in shadows and effects, but the gameplay feels fluid and precise, perfect for high refresh rate monitors 120Hz to 144Hz. This is the sweet spot for 1440p gaming, great visuals with enough frame rate headroom to keep up with Ninja Gaiden 4's demanding combat. 1440p very low settings. At very low settings, the RTX 3090 hits 120 FPS, finally hitting high refresh territory. The game feels ultra-responsive, with near-instant input feedback, ideal for competitive play or speedrunning. The visuals take a hit, with simplified textures and effects, but the raw performance is unmatched. If you're chasing the highest frame rates for esports-level precision, this is the way to go. The RTX 3090 is working hard here, but it's clear, if you want more than 144 FPS at 1440p, you'll need to tweak a few things. At 1080p, Ninja Gaiden 4 is already running like a dream on the RTX 3090 and 9800X 3D, but anti-aliasing can clean up jagged edges and improve visual clarity. TAA, temporal anti-aliasing, and DLAA, deep learning anti-aliasing, are the two key options, but they come with very different performance costs. Here's how they stack up at high settings. High settings with TAA. With TAA enabled, the frame rate jumps to 150 FPS, almost no performance hit compared to native rendering. TAA smooths out jagged edges and reduces shimmering, making the game look cleaner without sacrificing fluidity. This is the perfect choice for players who want smooth visuals and high frame rates. The minimal performance cost makes TAA a no-brainer for 1080p gaming on this hardware. High settings with DLAA. DLAA, on the other hand, drops the frame rate to 90 FPS, a massive hit compared to TAA. However, the visual payoff is huge. DLAA uses AI to sharpen edges and reduce aliasing, resulting in crisp, near-native visuals that rival higher resolutions. This mode is best for players who prioritize image quality over frame rate, ideal for single-player or cinematic gameplay. If you're willing to trade FPS for visuals, DLAA delivers the best anti-aliasing experience on the RTX 3090. If you're chasing high FPS, TAA is the way to go. DLAA only if you're okay sacrificing frames for ultra-sharp visuals. At 1440p, Ninja Gaiden 4 pushes the RTX 3090 harder, but anti-aliasing remains a key tool for smoothing edges and improving visual fidelity. TAA and DLAA again show their strengths and weaknesses, but the performance trade-offs become more pronounced at this resolution. Here's how they compare at high settings. High settings with TAA. With TAA enabled, the frame rate remains at 80 FPS, identical to native rendering. TAA smooths out jagged edges and reduces flickering, making the game look cleaner without any performance cost. This is the obvious choice for 1440p gaming free visual improvement with no downsides. If you're already running high settings, TAA is a must-enable for better image quality. High settings with DLAA. DLAA, however, drops the frame rate to 70 FPS, a noticeable hit from the 80 FPS baseline. While DLAA delivers sharper, more detailed visuals, the 10 FPS loss is hard to justify for most players, especially in a fast-paced game like Ninja Gaiden 4. This mode is only recommended for players who prioritize visuals above all else, ideal for single-player or cinematic gameplay, but not for competitive play. TAA is the clear winner if you want both performance and visual fidelity. At 1080p, upscalers like FSR and DLSS transform Ninja Gaiden 4 from already smooth to insanely fluid on the RTX 3090 and 9800 X3D. These technologies render the game at a lower resolution and upscale intelligently, boosting frame rates while keeping visual fidelity high. Here's how they stack up at high settings. High settings with FSR. With FSR enabled, the RTX 3090 hits 150 FPS, identical to TAA, but with a slight upscale from a lower internal resolution. FSR improves performance while maintaining good visuals, though it lacks the AI-driven sharpness of DLSS. This is a solid choice for AMD users or those without DLSS support, but on NVIDIA hardware, DLSS is the better option. High settings with DLSS. DLSS is the real game changer, pushing the frame rate to 160 FPS, a 23% boost over native high settings 130 FPS. NVIDIA's AI-powered upscaling not only boosts performance but also improves image quality, delivering sharper visuals with minimal artifacts. This is the best of both worlds, higher frame rates and better-looking visuals, making DLSS the ultimate choice for RTX 3090 users. If you're chasing max performance, DLSS is a no-brainer. DLSS is king here, more FPS, minimal visual trade-off. If you're on an RTX card, this is a no-brainer. At 1440p, Ninja Gaiden 4 starts to flex its graphical muscles, but upscalers like FSR and DLSS step in to keep frame rates high while maintaining great visuals. With the RTX 3090 and 9800 X3D, these technologies unlock extra performance, making high refresh gaming possible even at this demanding resolution. Here's how they compare at high settings. High settings with FSR. With FSR enabled, the RTX 3090 hits 100 FPS, playable, but not ideal for Ninja Gaiden 4's fast-paced combat. FSR boosts performance by rendering at a lower resolution and upscaling, but it lacks the AI-driven refinement of DLSS, resulting in slightly softer visuals. This is a decent option for AMD users or those without DLSS, but DLSS is the better choice if available. High settings with DLSS. DLSS is the star of the show, pushing the frame rate to 130 FPS, a massive leap from native high settings 80 FPS. NVIDIA's AI-powered upscaling not only boosts performance but also improves image quality, delivering sharper, more detailed visuals with minimal artifacts. This is high refresh heaven, smooth, responsive, and visually stunning. If you're on RTX hardware, DLSS is the ultimate upscaler for 1440p gaming. DLSS dominates again, turning the RTX 3090 into a 1440p beast. So is the RTX 3090 enough for Ninja Gaiden 4, 1080p? Absolutely. 160 plus FPS with DLSS. 1440p? Yes, but DLSS is mandatory for high refresh. Native 4K? Not tested today, but expect a future video. Let me know if you want it. Final verdict. The 3090 handles it, but you'll need to leverage DLSS for the best experience. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.